Hello everyone and welcome. In my last session, I talked about how to find your weapon of choice in the vast sea of art supplies. But what's next? So today, I want to talk about a problem I think we've all faced, something I've come to call resting art face. It's that feeling you get when you've finished a drawing and while the lines are good, the colors just sit there on the page looking, well, a bit dull. Your art feels less like the main character and more like a background extra. My mission today is to show you how a simple technique, color layering, can banish that resting art face for good and make your artwork truly sing. So why is layering such a superpower? The secret isn't in the pencil, it's in the paper. Art paper isn't perfectly smooth. It has a texture, a fine grit that artists call its tooth. You can imagine it as a microscopic landscape of tiny peaks and valleys. When you put down a single quick layer of color, the pigment mostly just skims across the top, hitting the peaks. All those little valleys remain mostly white, like the ghosts of potential vibrancy. That's what creates that thin, scratchy look. Layering is how we go back and fill in those valleys. By building up the pigment step by step, we create a rich, deep and saturated color that's simply impossible to achieve in one go. This technique unlocks two incredible superpowers. The first is creating dimension. You can turn flat shapes into forms that look 3D, making them feel like they have weight and could pop right off the page. The second superpower, and this is where the real magic happens, is mixing completely new colors right there on the paper. I'm not just talking about a simple yellow plus blue equals green. This is about optical mixing, where the layers interact visually to create complex luminous colors and subtle shimmery effects you could never pre-mix on a palette. So, how do we actually do this? I've got 3 magic spells for you to master. Spell number 1 is to control your pressure. You have to start light, and I mean really light, like you're just whispering the color onto the paper. Your first layer should be a gentle kiss of color, not a forceful scribble. Spell number 2 is all about the layering flow. Once you have that feather-light base coat down, you begin to build. You can add slightly darker tones for shadows or introduce entirely new colors, but you keep the pressure light. You're gradually and patiently weaving the colors together, letting the layers underneath peek through to create that beautiful optical mix. And spell number 3 is the grand finale, blending and burnishing. Now this one sounds a bit intense, and it is, but in the best way possible. This is where you finally apply firm, heavy pressure. You take a white-colored pencil, a light color you've used, or a special colorless blender, and you go over your layered colors. This action essentially crushes the pigment layers together, smoothing them into the fibers of the paper. It eliminates the grainy texture and creates a seamless, almost waxy paint-like finish that makes your colors explode with vibrancy. Let's put this into practice with a classic glow-up example, a simple leaf. First, using spell number 1, I'd apply my base coat with a very light touch, maybe a sunny yellow, to capture that feeling of sunlight. Next, for spell number 2, I'd start weaving in my greens. I'd use a light green over the yellow, but I'd let some of that yellow peek through on the edges where the light is strongest. Then I'd add a darker green for the veins and shadows to start building that 3D form. Finally, spell number 3, burnishing. Here's a pro tip. I'd take that same yellow pencil and go over the highlighted areas with firm pressure. This not only blends the greens smoothly, but also unifies the whole leaf with a warm, luminous glow. It's that final step that takes it from a drawing of a leaf to a leaf that feels alive. So, to wrap this up and officially make you a coloring sorcerer ready to banish resting art face forever, just remember the 3 keys. Start with a light touch, build your colors by weaving layers gradually, and finally, burnish to blend it all into a vibrant, polished finish. There are no absolute rules in layering. The most important thing is to play and experiment. This isn't doing your taxes. It's okay to make mistakes. Now go grab your coloring book and give it a try. And feel free to share your work on social media and tag me. I'd love to see your glow-up results. What cool technique do you want to learn next? Let me know in the comments below. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like and subscribe. Until next time, happy coloring!